Alright, this is a video about the ultimate adventure gear for bicycling. My name is Billy. I've just a background about myself. I've thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail, Pacific Crest Trail, the trail in New Zealand called the Tierra Aurora. I've done the Bent Mackay, foothills, Pinhoti, some of the CDT. I bicycled across Australia. I bicycled from Spain to Greece. Going through Albania, Croatia, Bosnia, and I just recently got back from a trip from Mexico City. I bicycled across the U.S. and all the way down to Key West, and I continued a trip from Mexico City down to Panama, and then I took a sailboat over to Cartagena, Colombia, and then I finished off in Ecuador. So, but this is the gear I used. This is the gear I pretty much used throughout all the bicycle adventures I've done. This same bicycle crossed Australia. This same bicycle went from Savannah, Georgia down to Key West and up the West Coast. This same bicycle went from upstate South Carolina near Clemson University all the way down to Florida and then Tallahassee, and then I crossed through Texas and then to Albuquerque, and I've gone to the from there the Grand Canyon, then Santa Monica, then down to Baja, and then took a ferry over to Mazatlan and then came over to Mexico City. So the last adventure I just got done was from Mexico City down to Quito, Ecuador. I'm guessing it was maybe 5,000 miles. I zigzagged back and forth, but I just wanted to give you some ideas of what I carry just so it can help you with your adventure. So the bike itself, I love it. Every bike store I've ever visited says, why you own this bike? It's a 2003 Trek 5200. It'd be similar to what they would consider a 5.2 Madone these days. It's the bike that the U.S. Postal Team rode in the 2003 Tour de France and won. It's an all-carbon bike, but it's got a lot of miles on it, and people really don't think you should tour on an all-carbon. I'll let you guys decide what you're going to tour on. It really doesn't matter, but this bike has done all those things that I've ridden on. So it's my love. Just some few things. I do ride with mirrors. I do only carry one lock. All the other adventures until I crossed Europe in the winter, I always had a seat post trailer, but since I was carrying winter gear, I went with Thule's setup here, and it's a great setup, but I think it's a little too heavy for what I'm doing still. Even with my winter gear, I think I pared it down enough that I don't need it. I use an Arkell Saddlebags on these. It's a Canadian company. Unfortunately, I didn't grab it for this video, but they're a great company in Canada that makes lightweight bags. They also make the heavier ones to rival touring, but it's Arkell. It's A-R-K-E-L. But as far as the gear, this is all I have. My helmet's just over here. It's a Giro. In Mexico, I was in Cabo. It was 100 and plus. I was getting sunburned, so I definitely recommend a visor. I carry it everywhere I go. The last trip, carried this for water. It depends on whether I carry something for water or not. This is a Sawyer product. A lot of people don't think I'm carrying a tent when they see me on the side of the road. They're like, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing without a tent? But this is actually my tarp. This is Mountain Laurel Designs. This has its bug netting, all that included in this. These are the stakes that go to it. And this sets back up here is how I carry this. So there's literally nothing on this top part. Everything stores that I'm going to show you guys stores in my bag, and my two panniers on the side. So this is a Thermarest sleeping pad. It's what I recommend. I've used Ridge Rest and different pads all over the world, and I still love my Thermarest. It does get holes. I do carry a small patch thing. It's very small, but I think it's worth the inflatable risk over carrying something like a Ridge Rest, something like that. On to finish up my sleeping gear. This is a sleeping bag I had made. It's from a company called Frog Togs. They made it for me when I crossed Australia on this bicycle. I did go below freezing in Australia, and it's not made for that, but I use this. It's waterproof, and I also use a synthetic bag that my friend got for me. So it's another sleeping bag. It goes down to 30. So with these two, I think I can comfortably sleep in the 20 degrees Fahrenheit range. It all depends on how you sleep, but I add those together, then all my clothes, then I feel like I can be below 20. If it gets much more below 20, I really don't know if I want to be outside bicycling. So that's kind of my how I judge it. The other thing sitting next to this is a vest. I do wear these, especially when I'm coming into a busy town, a major city, or I'm riding at night, or it's raining. This is a vest that I bought in Croatia. It's a little heavy, but it's just I have a connection to it, so I keep carrying it around. So I told you guys about the visor. On my last trip, I didn't use these gloves. I carried them all the way through the 5,000 miles, but these are gloves. I needed them in the Alps. My hands absolutely froze. Something else I bought in Croatia after getting through the rain. I crossed over through Slovenia into Croatia at nighttime. I had to ride a few hours in the rain. My feet were soaked. My hands were soaked. So I found I happened to luck out, and there was a big town that had an athletic store, and these are Shimano boot covers. So I didn't use these on my last trip. I still carried them all the way through. When your feet are cold, it's not fun at all. And for peace of mind, I do bring those along, and I do bring gloves along. Your hands are a major thing you want to keep warm. While we're on part, I just use a tennis shoe these days to ride. It can be any kind of running shoe. I usually don't switch out shoes in other countries if I can choose. I try to start with a brand new shoe, and that generally lasts you 3 months. Walking wise, it lasts you about 500 miles. As you can see, I use platform pedals. I crossed Australia with clips. I've crossed half the US with clips, but I was in Australia, and I had to go, my clip wore out, the platform on it, the clip itself, it wore out, and I had to ride 100 miles without my shoe being able to clip in. And then from then on, I just thought, why am I doing this? I'm always jumping off to go see something. I'm always stopping somewhere. I don't have to switch shoes. Overall, I'd have to carry a bicycle shoe, then possibly some kind of athletic shoe, and also sandals. I do so now I only carry the athletic shoe, and I do carry sandals, what I'm wearing now. Right now, I carry 3 bicycle jerseys. I'll talk about the clothes next. This one I'm wearing, I usually don't use it bicycling. It's a backup. It's town wear. So I carry one pants, and this is what I wear on the airplane. And then that's pretty much it. I'll wear this for 6 months, however long the trip is. I'll just go with 3 things. One thing's for town, and that's just to kind of blend in and not look like a bicyclist. I'll carry 2 jerseys and 2 pairs of bicycling shorts. I've tried bibs before. I prefer the shorts. I've always worn Volet. It's the company that makes the bicycling apparel. They're out of California. I like their stuff. I'm riding 10 to 12 hours a day for months at a time, and it's always lasted for me. I do buy the upper end stuff. You spend in the money, but to me, it's worth it to be happy. 2 pairs of socks. I really love Smart Wools. I've tried a lot of different socks, but Smart Wools have always been what I go to. I carry 2 handkerchiefs. This is probably not for you, but it's definitely for me. I love having a handkerchief. As far as outer gear, I use a company called Compass 360. They make my pants, my rain pants. So these are great. Also on my bike here, you'll see reflectors. These are for holding my pants from getting them caught in a chain. On this last trip, instead of carrying it down, I was up in the Andes Mountains, so I thought I may see some snow. So I didn't want to carry it down because I knew it was going to be a lot of rain in the area. So I decided to go with a 3 jacket system. All these are fairly lightweight. This is the lightest weight. Again, it's from Compass 360. They make different, and these are all different from 3 lines. They're all Compass 360. It's a company out of Alabama. They make excellent rain gear that I've used on all the trips. And the last thing is I just carry a small backpack. It's super foldable. You can see my toothbrush hanging out. This is for when I'm in town. I can go and grab stuff at the store. It packs down. I've stored in. But that's pretty much it on the setup. I hope I've helped you see what I've used to cross pretty much half the world. But if I can help you guys with anything else, I just want you to know just the things I've learned is that if you're happy with your gear, that's all that matters. You don't have to have particular things. You don't have to carry this kitchen sink, and you don't have to carry the bare minimum. You just have to be happy, and it's pretty much your attitude. In Australia, it was 133 degrees, and I was carrying 32 liters on a seat post trailer, and it was a test, but it was something I could do, that I survived. And in Arizona, there was negative weather. It was snowing when I got to the Grand Canyon, and I was freezing, and we had ice freezing up on our face as I was bicycling. But again, I was happy with my gear, and that's what it takes. But I hope this helps you, and let me know if I can do anything else.